Hello, and welcome to the Mild and Lazy Guys podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Matt.
And I'm Andrew.
We have a great show for you today. We've got items in the news desk. We're going to talk about our dream neighbors in our cul-de-sac on our Mount Rushmore segment. We've got our Pick Your Poison segment. We're going to review the Big Green in our movie review segment. The NFL draft and schedules are released, so we're going to talk about the NFL draft. We're going to talk about the Cowboys picks. We're going to give our thoughts on how they did. We're going to break down the Cowboys schedule. And then we're going to wrap it up with what are we watching and what are we listening to. But before we get started, can I please ask you to, if you haven't already, rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. And let you know that you can follow us on Instagram at Mild and Lazy. But with all that said, let's get on to the show. So what's up, man?
It's been... God damn it. You threw me for a curveball.
How did I throw you for a curveball? But so let's just roll because I'm not restarting it for the fifth time.
All right. Well, this is like the fifth, and the last one was really well. So, what have I been up to, Matt? Let's see. There was 2 tornadoes since we last talked.
Yeah, that first Monday was the hairy one, though.
Yeah.
That one was scary.
That one was scary. We were watching the news from like 8 o'clock to about 9:30 because they kept pushing back the warning. And, you know, we got a little house. We got nowhere really to go. Like, the hail was coming down. Shit was getting hairy. But the crazy part was, like, earlier in the day was a beautiful, sunny, 90-degree Texas day. We went to the Fort Worth Zoo, which, not a hot take. It's just infinitely better than Dallas. And if you have the option, go to Fort Worth. They're working on an expansion there. They're really opening it up. It's amazing. It was, like, rated the number 1 in North America recently, apparently, because I read it on a billboard somewhere, so it's got to be true. And then we had one, what was it, like a week ago? And that one was like right where I do my mail route out in the country. So like the next day I was just like surveilling all the damage, and there was like 2 people that the house was still there, but like everything was blown from one side of the highway, and then it just got caught on the other side. So it's just like strewn across from their yard, because it's like big patches of land. You know, these people own like acreage, so it was like their whole front yard was just trashed. They cleared the highway, but then the other side of the highway, everything got caught over there. And I mean, it still looks like a disaster over there.
They hit right over there on 55.
Yeah, that's
like
where
55
that's where I'm at.
And 77 right there.
Yeah. The worst of it was 77, I guess, and actually 35. You saw like a semi truck get turned over, and I guess there was like candy in it. They said people got it out in the middle of a fucking storm in the middle of the highway and started picking up like free candy.
That's unreal.
Like, that's the most American thing you could do right there. Is risk your life in 2 separate ways just for like some stale Crunch bar. You know, it's not even a good candy bar. It's a Crunch bar.
Hey, Crunch bar is good.
It wouldn't make your Mount Rushmore, would it?
No, but
okay then. It's no Payday. That's what I'm saying. Paydays go hard, and those are underrated.
You don't. I mean, I have a broad spectrum when it comes to candy.
Have we not? We did Halloween candy.
We did Halloween candy,
which is totally different.
Yeah, for sure.
Halloween candy is different because when I'm in the checkout line, I'm getting a Payday, a Mr. Good Bar.
Mr. Good Bar goes hard.
Mr. Good Bar, severely underrated. And
it goes hard.
Probably peanut M&Ms. That'd be my top
peanut
3.
M&Ms. I do like me some peanut M&Ms.
We're an M&M family. We got
I like
pounds of it at the house because Elizabeth loves the mini ones and the regular original. And like when Claire's not here, we just like sneak off together and eat M&Ms and watch good movies. Watch like animated movies.
There's a worse way to pass your time.
Oh, it's great. And then I'm like terrible at covering up my crime. So when Claire gets home, she sees like the ring of chocolate around Elizabeth's mouth.
Yep. And
she's like, "Were you eating chocolate M&Ms?"
Yep.
And we go, "No."
Sure was.
Busted every time. I'm terrible.
Oh, so anything else other than that?
Other than nearly dying?
Yeah.
Still trying to train this damn dog. I spent 5 minutes cleaning up pee. You know, when you were here.
Yeah.
And the sheets are tumbling right now because the dog took a shit on the bed again.
Well, it happens. It's better than you taking a shit on the bed.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. I don't think Claire would appreciate that
more
much.
Understanding with the dog.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, work with me. Landry has his pre-K graduation tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. Pulled the trigger, traded in my truck.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like you just got it.
I did 2 years ago, but the truck, the used car market in general is crazy, but especially the truck market. It's kind of like the housing market.
Good crazy?
Yeah, like.
So you came out on top?
Oh yeah, I came out.
Well,
they gave me $5,000 over what I owed for it.
Well, that's a no-brainer then. What'd you get? You keeping that little? Was it a Accord?
A Civic, yeah. I have a Civic sitting in the garage that it's kind of like a project car. I'm kind of restoring it and working on it. And
How you getting to work though?
oh, I traded in for a 2018 Civic.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I took it to my sister's house out in Eastland over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I got 43 and a half miles to the gallon.
Hell yeah.
When I was in my truck, I was getting like 11.
Yeah.
So, but it was 2018, had like 19,000 miles, so it's basically a brand new car.
Oh, it's by far the newest car I would have ever had.
Yeah,
the truck I have now, the 06 that I use for work, and that is just raggedy as hell, is the newest vehicle I've ever had. And I told Claire, once I get like, because we're all getting vehicles at work, once I get mine and I don't need that truck anymore, I will gladly take like a 2003 Ford Focus.
Yeah.
Or, like
yeah.
a Jetta, like 2002 Jetta.
Yeah, so it's a nice car. It's an ADB car, but I kind of saw the writing on the wall with the gas prices and kind of how they're going. Add that with the truck market and how crazy it is. My payments went down like $60 a month compared to what I was paying on the truck, so...
Landry's probably hurt though.
Yeah, the little guy. He was like, "That's our truck."
Yeah, I mean, to go from because from a little kid's perspective, it's like you traded in this big, massive, cool truck, and to him, it's just like a small car. Like I get why you did it.
Yeah.
It's very practical.
Yes,
it's still new. It's got great gas. But like when you, as an adult, you're like, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. But as a kid, you're like, but that was a big, cool truck.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's coming around to it.
Well, he's got no choice.
Yeah, he's got no choice. And I told him, hey, we'll keep this for a couple years. I figure gas prices in the used car market will come back around here in a couple years, and I'll get back into a truck. But for now, it was too good of a deal. I got $5,000. I got out of it with $5,000 equity.
Come out on top. That's always good.
So
I need to do something with that Bronco. If anybody's interested in a 1989 Bronco 2,
keep it,
dude. It hasn't
keep
run.
It doesn't matter.
It looks.
Keep it.
It's just an eyesore right now. I need to wash it. I need to put a cover over it. Mostly, like it's getting like sun damage. And I don't know, man. I feel like I can get a pretty penny for it.
You can. I mean,
but if I put work into it and got it running, it would like triple the value.
Oh, for sure.
Because it hasn't even turned over in like at least 3 years.
Oh yeah.
All the fluid's just been sitting in there, so it needs some work. But it's nothing,
No, it's just simple, like
it's manageable work. Yeah, it's just like where the fuck am I going to get time to work on this truck when I'm not even a good gearhead or whatever whatever that's called.
No, it makes sense. But yeah,
I gotta like invite some friends over.
We know a guy.
We do know a guy.
But yeah, so that big hailstorm and tornado, I got my car like 2 days before that.
Fuck.
So I was running outside and I just put a bunch of blankets over it. And I found like big rocks like that were in like the flower bed, and I kind of weighed them down, put the blankets over it, and I was like, well, I have full coverage, but
Neighbor's like, man, that guy loves his Honda.
Yeah, but it's I'd just gotten it. So,
yeah,
but
my truck's so beat down. I'm like, just what's a few more dents gonna do? Have you seen the passenger side of my truck?
Yeah, I've seen
it. Looks like fucking Freddy Krueger went to war with that thing.
But that's the side that's the side you deliver out of. So makes sense.
And it just takes one because they're like, man, you got like all these scratches. It's like, yeah, that's 500 plus boxes a day, 5 days a week for 8 years. I was like, I'm lucky I only have like 4 major scratches. I've had an opportunity to get tens of thousands of scratches. So
I'm lucky I have a door
like
left.
999, yeah. I'm doing great, actually. It just takes one asshole box to drop open as you drive away. And you hear that screech and the paint like coils up. And you're like, well, once you do the first one, you're like, well, fuck it. It's a work truck now.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, nothing else going on. Work.
Ellie has her little graduation tomorrow too from her Mother's Day out. She's so secretive though. Like we're supposed to go there. I wonder if Eric's gonna be there because his eldest, what's her name?
Harper, yeah.
Harper is like in a class adjacent. That's a nice word. Next to Elizabeth.
Probably.
And, she's just so secretive because I'm like, we're gonna come and watch it, and I took the whole day off, man. And we're like, what are you singing? What are you doing? She's like, it's a secret. You'll find out. I'm like, what the fuck? Who talks like that at 3 years old? So I was like, okay, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they moved Landry's. It was supposed to be at the amphitheater with all the weather and stuff. They moved it to some gymnasium.
Since the rain, it is flooded.
Yeah. There's like some civil engineer that's like taking heat in the office.
Well, he should. He put it in like the worst spot.
Put it in a floodplain right next to a creek.
Ultimate floodplain area.
So yeah, they were supposed to have it there, and when it was there, we could bring whoever, but they had to move it to a gymnasium, so now we can only bring mom and dad. So, but I think all the family, like my brother and her mom. We're just gonna go out to eat after.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're finally gonna go to the Blue Sky that
Oh,
we
yeah.
talked about because it's only open from 10 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
What time's our graduation?
Like 9:45.
Oh wow, Langer's in the evening. I think Langer's like 6 or 7
In the evening?
Yeah.
Fuck that. No, because after that, Claire's like, she's done. She does this little performance, and my mom can't go, so my mother-in-law's going. And then once it's like school's out after that, they're gonna do this
cool.
and then we're just gonna go. I was like, I'll take my mother-in-law, buy lunch.
Well, let me know what you think about Blue Sky. I think it's fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am.
I think it's fantastic. So
Highlight of the week coming up.
let us know on the next one. So let us move on to the news desk. You want to go first?
Yeah, I got one here. Quite the headline. Gwyneth Paltrow's company sued after man claims vagina-scented candle exploded. That's a brand new sentence right there. This is Colby Watson from Texas said he bought the infamous $75 "This Smells Like My Vagina" candle from Goop in January. After burning it for more than 3 hours in his bedside table, he alleged the candle exploded and became engulfed in high flames. He said he left the blaze. The blaze left a black burn ring on his bedside table, and the candle jar was charred and black. However, no injuries were reported. The Goop website has a warning on its website advising people to not burn candles for more than 2 hours, which I do with every candle I've ever
owned.
Yeah, ever.
Like on a
Even
Saturday,
when I gotta leave, I'm like, it's just 3 candles burning. Let's go.
like on a Saturday or Sunday, we're hanging out the house cleaning. We have a candle going all day.
In like every room. We got one going now because Dolly just peed in here, and I'm not wearing socks. And I feel so bad because my feet stink, and then my dog peed in here. I hope you're just like breathing through your mouth right now, man.
It is gardenia though. That's a questionable choice in scent. It smells like a.
Well, take it up with Claire.
Okay. Nope, not gonna do that. But
so the complaint is seeking a jury trial, triple compensation, as well as punitive damages of more than $5 million.
$5 million for a candle?
Well, if it nearly burned down his house, he might have PTSD.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know what I mean? A woman in the UK also alleged that her Goop candle exploded in January. It was the same model as the one bought by Mr. Watson and exploded a few minutes after lighting it. She said, flames roared half a meter out of the jar and bits of molten wax flew out as it fizzled and spat. Luckily, I had placed it on a concrete at the base where there was a fireplace. A Goop's spokesman later offered to send her more of their products. Because that's what you want from something that just killed you. More of that.
So what does this say? What does this story and this incident say about Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina?
That it's explosive. It is the bomb.
She put the reputation of her vagina on these candles, and now they're exploding.
I mean, that's kind of great marketing, but except for the whole near dying part. But
catching on fire and why do you? This is an example of things going too far.
Yeah, I don't know who they were like somebody must have told her like, Gwyneth, your vagina smells so magical. I wish I could just have it in my house at all times.
And then a light bulb went
like,
off.
Oh, I could sell this for $75 to idiots.
I almost want to buy one. Goop. Like, what does it smell like, you think?
I don't know. You're asking me what Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy smells like? I have no idea.
Well, I'll tell you, I have an idea. I mean,
why don't you ask Chris Martin? I don't know. Hopefully it smells decent. I mean, if they're selling for $75 and you can't burn it for more than a couple hours, it better light up the room. It better come in hot and heavy and just make the house smell like heaven.
It does. Okay, so stay away from Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina.
Goop. That just sounds like such a terrible
name.
Yeah,
that's a terrible name, too.
How the fuck do you come up with that?
Like, the next best one is Moist. Did that...
Now, if I bought a Moist vagina-scented candle, that sounds fucking nice. That sounds like a good Saturday night.
You want to read your next one, or you want me to? Go ahead and bang that one out.
This one's tough.
Let me preface it before he reads it, because I pulled this off of I think it was a German website who translated it from Chinese, so it's like been through 3 filters.
Yeah. And I'm terrible at reading these news stories.
All right, so go ahead.
All right. Chinese millionaire bought a club and forced the DT?
Basically like manager, like the coach.
He forced the manager to put his son, who weighs 278 pounds, as a starter. So this is the Zibo Kuju, a cast of the Chinese Second Division, made news this weekend, and not precisely because of its good results or any goal worth noting. It turns out that its owner, the millionaire He Shashira, forced coach Hanji Huang to line up his son, who, as a footballer, does not add much to the starting lineup. The boy weighs 278 pounds, as expected. He has he has not had a very good performance on the field. The Ziba Kuju is last in its group, with only 1 point out of 15 possible. And the incorporation of the owner's son is not the first questionable decision. It just goes to say that I guess he took the number 10, which in soccer,
Yeah, that's
it's like wearing 23 for MJ or something.
like all the greats wore it. Maradona, Pele, Messi. I mean, 10 is like the number.
Cocky little fat kid coming in here, can't even run laps with these guys, and he goes, "No, I'm number 10."
Dude,
I'm surprised they put like a. Do you get like a C sticker?
No, they have
for
an
captain?
armband. They have an armband that they wear, that the captains wear.
Yeah,
but
his has a lot of flexibility to it, I bet.
for those of you who haven't seen me in a while, you know, I'm a big boy. This dude looks like me. And I'll put a picture on our Instagram of this guy.
I want a side by side.
Dude, he's at the corner flag, like waiting to take a corner kick, and he's just got this impressive gut.
It looks like he's got a football in his shirt.
It looks like he's got a couple.
A football.
But yeah, but when your dad's a Chinese billionaire and he buys the club, you can do what you want. I was trying to come up with an example, like, I was trying to think of like maybe a celebrity who had a fat son that
it's like,
our listeners could, relate
Boy.
to. Yes, it's like Big Tom Callahan buying
Callahan Auto Parts, putting his son in charge. But his son pulled it out though. He sold those fucking brake pads.
True. But it's
this
like
guy's not going to score no winning goal. But
it's like Big Tom Callahan buying the Oakland Las Vegas Raiders and then putting Tommy Boy in as the quarterback.
Or like buying the Chiefs and saying, "You know what, Patrick? Man, why don't you sit this one out?"
Yeah.
Or old Tommy's coming in to handle this one.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of just a funny little story.
Or it's like an Arkansas billionaire buying a team and saying, "I'm going to be the GM and president, and then my son's going to be the executive vice president." And
what are you talking about? I don't get the
ring a
reference.
bell?
No, I don't get the reference.
Okay,
don't know where you're going there.
We'll look it up later.
All right. So I don't even know where to begin with this one. The headline reads, "Doctor apologizes for letting a registered sex offender into a retreat for sex assault survivors." And I shouldn't be laughing.
I was going to say, man, you're going to get a chance.
Shouldn't be laughing, but it's like you had one job.
Yeah.
You had one job. How do you get one job and fuck everything up? This lady did.
Some people that have done that.
The article.
It was a lady that let him into it?
It was a lady.
Oh, no.
And I should show you a picture of her. The doctor running Project Trauma Support now says she regrets her decision to allow a registered sex offender to peer mentor a group of sexual assault survivors with PTSD under her care. 7 female first responders and Canadian Forces veterans shared their story publicly with CBC News yesterday. They said their trust was violated by Dr. Manuela Joanu because she failed to tell them their peer mentor recently had been convicted in 2 separate cases of sexual assault before attending the 6-day trauma retreat in 2018. She goes on to quote, "If I had had a chance to do it all over again, this would not have happened. Did we make some errors in our early efforts? Undoubtedly."
Who's we?
But,
She's putting blame on other people now. You need to take responsibility.
But it has shaped our awareness and our methods going forward. Well, I would hope so. Actually, I would hope you
hope so.
aren't. You need to go bag groceries because this obviously isn't your. It's not your cup of tea.
Not if that was your one job, was to protect people, women with PTSD.
Not only did she let this person in, they were a peer mentor.
Yeah, there's so many bad things here.
He's just taking notes at this point, learning how to be a better sex offender. He goes on to say, retreat participants said they were upset that Joannu's public apology came after several major donors to the program, including the Mood Disorder Society of Canada and the Royal Canadian Legion, severed ties with her charity in the wake of CBC's report, and they said they would not be funding it in the future. Joanna said she started Project Trauma in 2015 as a suicide prevention program. CBC News spoke to a Canadian Forces member who said she'd become suicidal after taking part in the program.
Damn.
So that's just an all-around bad deal.
Yeah. Yeah, she's out of a job, that's for sure. I don't think, there's nothing much else you can do other than saying, like, you're fucking terrible. You have to.
Is this like the real life version of, like, Dr. Nick from The Simpsons?
Dr. Nick?
Hello, everybody.
I thought his name was, like, Dr. Kim.
I thought it was Dr. Nick.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Once you say hello, everybody, like, everyone knows what you're talking about. We're just arguing names here.
I thought it was Dr. Nick. But yeah, bad deal.
I don't know, dude. We don't look this shit up.
Bad on you, Canada. Okay, and the last story. Headline reads, 1,000 feral cats released onto Chicago streets to tackle rat explosion.
This I can get down with. This makes all the sense in the world.
A Chicago animal shelter is using feral cats to tackle the city's rat problem. The Windy City has ranked number 1 on pest control company Orkin's list of the rattiest cities in the U.S. for 6 consecutive years, as Chicago has had the most rodent pest treatments. In an effort to rein in the explosion of rodents, the Treehouse Humane Society kicked off a program to release feral felines into areas experiencing rat problems. After humanely capturing the feral cats, the Humane Society spays or neuters the animal and places them into residential and commercial settings with rodent infestations to act as an environmentally friendly rodent control. The Treehouse Humane Society says only rescued cats who cannot thrive in a home or a shelter environment or cannot be reintegrated into their former colonies are used for the Cats at Work program, like the name. After receiving approval for a working cat, property and business owners are responsible for their well-being. So I just imagine like a scene out of like an action movie with like an explosion going off in the background, and there's cats walking in, and they got the bandoliers on, and they're just going to do some work on some rats.
And then you got the one bad cat, and he does a big old line of catnip. Like, let's fucking go! No, I was thinking they could put a GoPro on these things and like make a legit TV show out of this.
Stream that to Twitch.
Yeah, like I would watch that.
Stream it to Twitch, and you'd have buku of viewers.
I mean, it's a good idea. It really is. It's a good way to do it, and maybe it'll be like give out awards at the end of the year, like most kills, kill streak, who had the most.
Give medals of honor to the cats.
One cat lost his life; he gets the post-mortem whatever.
But yeah, it just goes on to say, property and business owners provide food, water, and shelter to the cats.
Yeah.
A lot of the clients tell us that before they had cats, they would step outside their house and rats would run across their feet. The cats will hunt and catch rodents on occasion. So, it says there's actually a way of deterring the rats with their pheromones. So, sounds like they might not even hunt. Sounds like the pheromones and the scent that they give off may deter the rats. But I don't know, man.
No, I want to see this matchup, like rats regroup, get their numbers back, and come back and like have a real Royal Rumble situation.
So, what would be like the atomic bomb in that war?
What is that supposed to mean? Like, what would end it?
What would end it?
I don't know. Fucking German Shepherds.
German Shepherds.
Like the dogs have showed up, and like they're the total wild cards. They have allegiance to nobody.
That's true.
They just start fucking killing everyone.
That's true. Okay.
Send in the hounds.
So that was the news desk. And with that, let's get on to our Mount Rushmore segment. And as I mentioned in the opening, we are going to list our dream neighbors in our hypothetical cul-de-sac.
Yeah, this is something I thought of like a long time ago. It's like, because, I deliver, and I was like, if I could just live here, and obviously I got a dope house, like it's like a awesome log cabin or something, I don't know. We all live on the lake together. We're all living the dream. And I just got like, it's me in the center, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. These are my dream neighbors. We have like barbecues and we hang out all the time.
Okay.
Guys who I'm going to hang out with.
I'm interested to see who you got.
First one, in no order again, Bill Simmons.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who that is. He's a sports writer. He's written for ESPN, and then he started The Ringer. He's from Boston, so he's a huge Boston sports fan, so he has like hot takes on all that. But he also does The Rewatchables.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the BS podcast.
He just
BS
sits around and talks about movies and sports.
Dude, he gets paid, and he's making so much money because if he owns The Ringer, it's like a media company, and they have their own stuff coming out. He is living the dream like that. I want his life so bad. Like, he's just one of my favorite guys. Everything he talks about, I've never... I shouldn't say never. I don't think I've ever, like, disagreed with anything he said, Like, everything, even if it was a hot take, I'm like, yeah, he's got a good point there. Like, and, he's not controversial. He's real laid back.
It's not a bad life to have.
Dude, he's living the dream.
My first one, again, no order, Denzel Washington.
Denzel, my man.
I just think he'd have cool stories.
Big Cowboys fan, too.
Big Cowboys fan. I think he'd give me instant street cred.
Why? Because he's black?
You went there, not me. You went there.
Denzel doesn't have street cred. He's like an A-lister. It's not like you took DMX. R.I.P. dog.
Look, this is my list. I just think he'd have great stories, good conversations.
Definitely. He seems like a really smart guy, too. Like,
oh, he's super intelligent.
I feel like he would teach us so much. Like,
Super intelligent.
I'm inviting myself over at this point.
Yeah, Denzel would be my one of mine.
Denzel. Next up for me, another. I've mentioned it before on my stand-up comedian, Mount Rushmore. To me, he's the funniest guy alive, Larry David. Because I would love for him to just go out, have all his misadventures, have everything terrible happen to him situationally, and then him just come over to my house and we just hang out and like talk about it. Yeah, and I'd be like, he'll tell me his whole day, all the shit that went wrong, and it would just be hilarious.
And then you could just sit and watch him on his lawn with that face he makes, just kind of just.
Yeah, I know he's like simmering. I'm like, I'm gonna go see what's pissing off Larry today.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna really poke that bear.
Yeah. All right, my next one. This is just a boyhood thing. My hero, Troy Aikman.
Nice.
I think there's got to be an athlete on the block.
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree.
He likes to drink a beer.
Abs of steel too. My God.
Doesn't hurt, to have a.
In case your dryer goes out, washing machine, just go over there on this washboard abs.
And, come help me move this.
If you need some brick repair, he's ready to just throw them acne bricks right up to
He's
you.
got the endorsement.
Golly, I remember that commercial in the way back.
Yeah, and I don't know, just childhood, boyhood hero. Living next door would be cool. Seems like he'd know his way around a good bourbon and a good steak.
Oh yeah.
So
and again, huge Cowboy fan.
Yep.
Even though he'll be really critical, which you gotta love. I love how he's critical of the Cowboys.
Critical, so
well, after 25 years, it's hard not to be critical.
We'd get along.
All right, next up was my athlete, and that's Charles Barkley. I fucking love Charles Barkley. Again, instant street cred for me.
Again, it's not like the round mound is rolling with the Bloods.
He's got Samuel Jackson and Spike Lee, though.
True.
He's in those commercials. He's making all that money. And, like, was it inside the NBA or the before pregame and postgame? Like, he makes that. Like, there's times where they replace him with Dwayne Wade, and I fucking hate Dwayne Wade. So every time that's like, I just change the channel. I feel like they're trying to not phase out Barkley, but when he's ready to retire, like, D Wade's going to take his spot, and that's the day I'd not watch that show anymore.
I love that Barkley just doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck. You should hear his if you hear his takes years ago in San Antonio women about all being too fat and need to lay off the churros. Yes. And then like a week ago there was somebody else that talked shit about him because they'll post like a tweet on that inside and he's like, no. He's like, don't go to commercial. He's like, put that tweet up. He goes, look at that fat ass. You telling me I'm too fat? And he just rails on this guy that just made like this offhanded, light joke on Charles. And Charles just ripped him apart on national television.
Because there's too many guys that are PC.
Oh man, Barkley is not PC.
Doesn't give a shit.
Barkley's the fucking man. Barkley would probably be my one pick. If I could have one neighbor, it'd probably be Barkley.
Yeah. Okay. All right. My third one, and this is shout out Ryan because I think he's the only one that I know that shares a love for this guy like I do. It's Guy Fieri.
Oh yeah.
Guy Fieri, because I need somebody in the cul-de-sac that can throw down in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. He's got a cool car collection. He's just a dope dude. Like, okay, yeah, he's got crazy hair and he wears crazy shirts, but the dude, he hires people and gives them benefits. He pays them more than he has to. He gives benefits to all of his employees. He started a nonprofit. He does these like pretzel carts for like underprivileged schools. He gives them the cart, the materials, everything they need to make, and all the proceeds they get to keep. He has that program. He started a big program over the pandemic to help out restaurant and service industry people. He's just a cool dude.
I've always heard he's just like a great person.
Yeah,
like you just said.
I think he is just a great person.
And when you have a reputation like that, it's good. It's true. Like no one's ever said like a bad thing about him.
No, and he's an easy target. Yeah, he's got the hair and the sunglasses and the ring.
It's just haters hating.
Yeah, and
he's a cool fucking guy.
He's a cool dude. He would, like I said, he'd throw down on the grill. He can throw down in the kitchen. It'd be good, to have him next door. And he's just a cool dude. So Guy Fieri is probably he may be my neighbor. Like, if I had one.
You can pick one?
He
You take
may
a guy?
be the dude, yeah.
It's not a bad pick. All right, last one. I'm split because I got two musicians here. One new school, one old school. I think I'm going to go old school. That's Willie Nelson. Got to have Willie Nelson when he's not touring. We're at the house. I'm sure he's got something for me to sample.
Yep.
We can trade bandanas.
You can.
I mean, he'd have way cooler stories than me, but I would be very attentive.
You look like his son.
I appreciate that. His son's very handsome. Lucas Nelson, who's extremely talented guy.
Trying to throw you a bone here, guy.
I'll take it.
Hey,
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
It's not every day you get a compliment like that. I appreciate that.
You better hurry up and scoop him up, because, man, I'm so afraid, like, he's just one of the next ones to go.
Oh, why would you even say that, man?
I'm just being real.
Well, don't be. I just said he'd be on my
It's okay.
dream neighbor, and you said, well, he's probably going to die soon.
It's okay, because
All right, well.
You're going to be able to say that about my next one.
Oh, yeah. Let me get yours, and I'll do my two honorable mentions.
All right, so my last one, Betty White.
Oh, yeah, she's fucking dead.
Because
She's fucking dying right now, dude.
that's why I got to hurry up and put her on.
She just took that last breath as soon as you said her name.
I got to put her in the neighborhood real quick. I just feel like I need.
You need more street cred.
She may have more than Denzel.
Yeah, for real. That's your street cred
She
right there,
may
the
have more
Betty
than
White
Denzel.
boys.
Now that I think about it. No, I think a grandmotherly figure would be nice to have, in the cul-de-sac in the neighborhood.
You have a very wholesome list. I like
do.
it.
I do. I try to think about
Like
who would be
Denzel's
good
probably the most controversial, and he's really not that
at
controversial.
all.
I think
Really.
just because he's black. That's why I said that.
Oh god!
All right,
Crying.
Denzel, I love you.
Yeah, Betty White. I feel like she could make me some
R.I.P..
cookies.
Yep.
And have a drink with me. Just having that, I don't have any grandparents left, so having, Betty White kind of fill that for me. And talk about stories. She's been around literally for fucking ever.
Literally forever.
So, yeah, Betty White.
All right, my two honorable mentions. The one who I picked Willie over was Mac DeMarco. And now that Willie might be dying, I guess I'll swing Mac in there. He's just like a really funny, cool guy. He had put on a good show when we went and saw him. He just had a bottle of Jameson the whole time. He's just dancing around. Just seems like he just loves life. All his videos are hilarious. His interviews, he's like just the biggest oddball, but he makes it work. And he's Canadian. All right, international list here. And he was MacGruber, actually. He dressed up. When he was on tour for Halloween, he got his whole crew. It was like everyone was dressed up as MacGruber. It was a perfect picture. And my last honorable mention would be Dirk.
Okay.
That would be an awesome person, again, just to hang out with.
Yep.
Play some tennis.
Tall
Play some
baller
doubles.
from the G.
Yeah.
Well, we share it because Dirk was on my honorable mention.
That's what's up.
And my last one, I needed some eye candy. Scarlett Johansson.
That's going to get you in trouble with Lauren real quick.
You
Lauren's
think?
coming to the dream house, right?
We didn't say anything about wives.
Oh, damn, dog.
This is me living alone.
Okay.
So, yeah, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, and I picked Dirk as well because, he's Dirk. He's just the man.
He's like a Dallas legend forever.
He's the man.
He had that interview today, which I know a lot of us listen to with the Bill Simmons, the BS report. It was great. Like, I skipped through all that just to get to him. And, like, the final hour was all Dirk. And I was like, such a wholesome, laid-back, like, superstar. He really was. He was a superstar. They just don't make him like they used to, man.
I hope some of that rubs off on Luca.
Oh, yeah. That's what everyone was saying coming out of that. Like, I hope Luca has another 20 years just like Dirk.
All right. So that was our Mount Rushmore. If you guys want to share your dream neighbors, drop us a line on Instagram.
Or if you got any ideas for Mount Rushmores, we can put your idea on here and give you a credit and a shout out.
For sure. And that's going to move us right on into Pick Your Poison. Did I do it last time?
I thought I did.
Okay.
Because I thought it was a really bad one.
Yeah. They've been kind of bad the last couple of weeks. All right, let's see. I feel like this is a good one.
Nice.
All right, here we go. I don't like that word. Would you rather sell all of your possessions or sell one of your organs?
Jesus, that's dark.
Yeah, I read organs. I was like, oh, God.
Well, I would probably sell... Honestly, it comes down to what I get the most for. Like, if I could get, like... I'd probably sell my possessions. Because I don't know, like... Obviously, the black market, like, how much I can get for this. And because can't you live off of, like, one kidney?
One kidney. My brother-in-law has one kidney.
And I heard you can get, like, isn't the liver, I learned this the other day, is, like, the only organ in your body that, like,
it can
regenerate.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just give like half a liver. This has got to be the whole thing. I don't think the whole thing will regenerate.
No, I'm giving a kidney. I'll keep my stuff. Roll with one kidney.
But I was thinking, if I sell all my stuff, could I then just like buy an RV and like deuce out of here? Because I'd probably just do that. That's like our retirement plan, is just to buy an RV, hit every national park in the Great Lakes. Like
this is your poison.
I'm gonna sell my stuff and I'm out of here, man.
I'm out of here.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm deucing. I'll like see you at Zion. I'll see you at Lake Superior, at Huron. I'm going to all those places.
All right, I'm gonna keep my stuff and sell my kidney. I think. Organ. Can I sell an eye? Is an eye an organ?
I think it is. That'd be cool because then you can work the iPad.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That. I'll sell an eye. I got a lazy one anyways. That shit don't do anything for me.
True.
I have a terrible right eye. Yeah, I'll just take that out. Absolutely.
Keep your stuff.
All right. If an eye's an organ, then yeah.
Okay. Does anybody out there know? Let us know if an eye is an organ. If it is, Andrew's in. I'm definitely in. I'm going to keep my stuff. Landry got a new Nintendo Switch. so I want to keep it.
I just got the Switch. Come on. I got to take my eye, but let me keep the Switch.
Yeah, man. Come on.
You could easily buy a new Switch, dude. It's like you can go fucking get a new eye. All right. Well, I'm selling all my stuff, and I'm selling the eye, so I can double my money.
You're a smart man. All right.
I just have a terrible right eye.
With that, let's get into the movie review. And we reviewed The Big Green.
Yes, we did.
From Disney.
Elma, Texas.
Again.
Very depressing town.
It kind of followed the same Disney formula. Ragtag team, kids come together.
But this one at least was different because the coach was like from England, where soccer's huge.
Yeah. She
teaches them there's not shit else to do in that town.
And there was something very topical, like the big kind of problem was very topical, nowadays. The immigration side of it. The deportation.
Yeah, they got kind of dark with Wong. With what was his name? Coach J. Huffer.
That guy, why does he play a prick in every movie?
I just put on here. He has an extremely punchable face. That probably bought him a house in Malibu.
He
playing that asshole.
He played a prick in Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah, he did. He's just that guy. He just has that punchable face.
Yeah,
everyone loves to hate.
All right, so let's get into it. So we open up in Elma, Texas.
What I like, though, is they made the city or the town of Elma like a big character. Just to show you how run down and, all the factories were closed and everyone was leaving. So it's like the city of Elma that was like a character in itself, just to show you like where these kids are coming from.
Well, and, small towns are like that because, I mentioned I went down to my sister's. She lives out in Eastland. And it's not like Elma, but it is, 3,500 people. And it's very tight over there. I mean,
it's a tight community.
Everybody knows everybody. Like my sister and her husband, they go to sports games and they don't have kids playing, like high school sports.
There's just ain't shit else to do.
Because it's part of the community.
Just more community, right.
It's just,
and there ain't shit else to do, probably.
Well, it's a little weird because my brother does radio for... he does radio for baseball and he does PA for the football, but
that's a good reason to go.
But regardless, I mean, they go support everything anyway. So, so we start out in Elma, and the first scene, just kind of shows that there's nothing to do because their idea of fun is they lay on the ground, they spread Cheetos all over their body, and let the birds come and eat off of them.
Nothing better to do.
And I said the amount of disease in that scene made my skin crawl.
Yeah, I mean. Nothing else to do. Might as well get a disease and die in Elma, Texas, I guess.
But that was pre-COVID, obviously. So, I mean, fuck it. YOLO.
Yeah, that was the 90s, man. How much gross shit did we used to do?
You can mark off YOLO on your Mild and Lazy Guys bingo card if you had that.
Well, that was Matt that said that. I hope I don't.
I think they knew. And then we get a glimpse of the new teacher, and she is hot. I don't know. It's just the accent, and just... Was that the sister off the Wonder Years?
How the fuck should I know? I don't know.
I think it was...
That's a random question, as if I have that in my Rolodex.
Maybe. Shit. I don't know.
You know how long it's been since I've seen the Wonder Years? All I can picture is Fred Savage.
You act like you don't have random shit up there, so don't... It's not like a way off thing for me.
When somebody asks you, is that the sister from the girl from Wonder Years? I'm going, what was that? What was her name? Like, Millie?
Fuck, I don't know.
And Fred Savage, and I know this because Claire had a crush on not Fred Savage, who's like he's an attractive guy now. She had a crush on her on Fred's friend, Paul Pfeiffer
The
or
dude
whatever.
with the nose and the glasses?
Yeah, that was one of her childhood crushes.
That's as weird as
So that's how, I got lucky enough because she said those low standards for 30 years.
That's as weird as our eating preference, like her taco preferences. Well, I'm not going to dig that back up. So we get introduced to the teacher. And I wrote, I would like to live in a town like Elma. I mean, just everybody knows
as long as
everybody.
you had a good job.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to be like the rundown, if I can be like the mail carrier there and make a decent living, I'll totally live there. I got no problem with that.
You'd be done in 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'd knock out every house, no packages.
And you'd probably have to, teach school, too.
That's cool. I'll marry that teacher.
So we get introduced to the teacher, we get introduced to the town, a couple of the kids. We go into school, and she's like, hey, I'm the new teacher. And we found out that this town raises really stupid people. Because I've had the lowest test scores in the state for 4 years in a row.
Well, they probably had a terrible teacher. I mean,
These kids are dumb.
Well, let's fast forward to the end. They're now fourth.
I will say that for a town this small, they have impressive diversity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had
They had an Asian. They had some white people.
The twins.
The twins. And
they were black.
And then and I wrote, Juwan More Ailey's. That's how the principal introduced him. Juwan.
Looks like Juan got held back a couple years too, especially when they start playing games later.
Oh, and those kids are tiny.
He is a man among boys on that field.
I'm not going to get super soccer tactics guy, but just one point. Just give it to him and let him just run through everybody. Yeah. You don't need to involve everybody else. Just get it to him, and he'll do the rest.
No, you have a star in your hands.
And there's a goat. I said I want the goat.
There's a goat.
I want the goat. And then the great and wonderful Steve Guttenberg makes his appearance.
Thank you. That's literally the second thing I said was about time we have a Steve Guttenberg appearance. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Dude, Steve Guttenberg is a man.
I'm glad we agree on that.
Yep. So he shoots his shot. He finds the teacher running down their way.
I mean, she's like an angel sent from heaven in Elma, Texas. I bet his ex is just haggard looking.
They should have called her the Body because she was just bodied up in that red Adidas jumpsuit.
She looked good in every scene.
All right. Sheriff Tom shoots his shot, but he's shooting blanks because she's not having it. We get the first sighting of Juan thereafter. He's pulling into town with his mom in the station wagon. They're getting gas. Kate's dad pulls up.
Oh, that was a dark scene because he's like, she won't give him gas because, the gas attendant or whatever, because she's like, you haven't paid your debt. You can tell he's just the town drunk.
Mm-hmm.
He's in debt to everybody. He's like, the factory shut down. I can't get a job. And I'm already feeling sympathy for Kate.
Yep.
Throughout the whole movie, really, you just feel bad for Kate because of that situation. So that was something as a kid's movie to rewatch it. And I was like, man, it was pretty dark that they went there and, put that character out there. But I guess, it's relatable to some people. And, we find out his wife left him and all this. It's a dark little story for them.
Yep. We get the hit, like you said, we meet him for the first time. Real piece of work. He can't get the gas. The lady's like, look, I got family to feed too. Yeah. She's probably already given him some leeway.
Oh, yeah. There's a line of credit that just finally she couldn't call it.
Yeah, she just couldn't.
I'll just say, though, he never has money. Always got a cold beer. Mm-hmm. Always a pack of smokes, and he's always at the bar. So he's got drinking money.
Well, that's how it is.
Yeah.
With you make...
Yeah, he's had the wrong priorities.
Yeah, people like that have priorities, and they just pick the wrong ones. So they've always got money for that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then we meet Juan. Juan meets the class, and this is where the principal says Juwan Morales instead of Juan Morales. And so he gets introduced to the class. They're already giving him shit, tripping him, and kind of making fun of him. And I wrote, I remember the maps that she's pointing to. Remember the maps in school that had 4 or 5 maps? You'd pull one down, it'd be the United States.
Oh, yeah,
You'd pull another one down, it'd be the world. And pull another one, it'd be Europe. I remember those maps. It's just a stupid detail.
Absolutely.
Stupid detail that I remembered. And then this is where she gets the idea for the soccer. She pulls the globe out. She starts juggling it.
She starts hitting on her head, which would have fucking hurt, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Those globes are hard as shit.
Yeah.
That wasn't a real globe. And then she takes him outside. It's like, hey, I have an idea. Follow me outside. And she tries to get him to play soccer. And then she goes to try to find an actual soccer ball. And I wrote America's soccer stereotype wrapped up in one scene. Because the kids are like, what's he say? We don't like soccer. Or soccer's for foreigners. Or something like that. Here in America, I don't know. He said something to that effect. Like,
basically, we play football.
We play football. Soccer's for foreigners. And we don't like foreigners. Or something like that. But there was like a couple stereotyps.
There was a couple of references to not liking foreigners in this movie too, because like Kate's dad said something later, like, yeah, they're pretty much all illegals.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
But the best part was like she teaches them like the very basics, and she's like, "Guess what? I signed you up for a league. Is that where you're going next? Like, they sign up after one practice?
Yeah, not even like a practice. They
not
just
even
kick
a
the
practice.
ball
They're
around.
just fucking around, and now they have to play like the state champs.
She signs the kids up for a league and throws them directly in the fire.
Oh yeah, to play the Knights.
And so, they're trying to get Juan to play next, and that goes nowhere because his mom kind of shuts it down. We don't know yet, but, she's trying to protect him because they are illegal. She's trying, she's wanting to keep him, as close as she can.
Yeah.
So, next scene is the first game, and I wrote, she drives a fucking Chrysler LeBaron. A convertible.
Haven't seen one of those in a long time.
A convertible LeBaron, which is a badass American piece of American, not muscle, but...
It's very puny muscle, but...
It's beach muscles.
Oh, yeah, very beach muscles. Good point.
Okay, so...
That first game.
There's just so much wrong. And I'm not going to be super soccer guy here. The fucking bullhorn. Like, if I was a parent on that team, I'd be like, hey, guy, what are you doing? Put the fucking bullhorn away.
Oh, the coach?
Yeah. Put the bullhorn away.
Isn't he bullhorn guy, though? Like, he looks like the kind of guy that would bring that to a kid's game.
Yes. Put the bullhorn
It's very
away,
on character for Coach J. Huffer.
All right.
Was it Huffer or did I just spell it wrong?
I think it's Huffer.
Huffer is what I
think it's Huffer.
I think. I'm left-handed, so it's
I think it's Huffer.
Hard to translate. And
then, we find out that, he's from Elma. He grew up with the sheriff.
Oh, yeah, because we mentioned, like, they had a sense of pride in that town, like, 20 years ago when they won, like, state championship.
Yeah, they said they were a powerhouse.
Yeah, I guess it was, like, him and Deputy Dog that were probably, like, the starting quarterback and receiver or something, and then one stayed and one left to go to the big city, which in this case is Austin. Like, I guess Elma's close to Austin.
Yeah, so fictional city, but it was...
Is it?
Yeah, fictional, I looked it up. Fictional city, but it was filmed right outside Austin.
Yeah.
Kind of in the
because you can see when they go and play, it's really cool fields. It's like you can see the Dallas or the Austin like skyline, and then they're just in these big open fields. I was like, I would love to go watch a game there. It looks awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, we find out that they have a past. Coach Bullhorn has a Coach Bullhorn has a son on the team. He informs him he's the leading scorer. Blah blah blah. And I wrote, Disney does a great job of casting like villain opposing teams or villain like teams in these sports movies because these kids.
You hate these kids, yeah.
I want to punch them. And then I wrote, the soccer nostalgia is hitting me real hard. The uniforms, the cleats, the hair, that's what
the snack breaks at halftime,
I grew up,
like orange slices.
Dude, the uniforms were cool because I grew up playing with or playing against teams that had those uniforms, and the cleats and the hair. It was like the long with the butt part in the middle.
Oh, totally.
Everyone
had that hair.
Yeah, so
a lot of flopping.
A lot of nostalgia.
Chili bowls in that game.
A lot of nostalgia.
The game, though, I don't know. Did you have the score? It's a total massacre.
Yeah, it's 18-0
18
at the end.
And I was going to ask, why do they call it nil? Like, is there an origin to that?
I would guess maybe Latin. Maybe like nil is something Latin for zero. I don't know. It's 18.
I know it's a soccer thing. And then they say it in tennis, maybe?
No, I think it's love.
Love. See, that makes no sense either.
I don't know. I did write that during halftime, Larry was double fisting Twinkies instead of orange slices. So, and I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you. Who was worse at the beginning, Goldberg or Larry? Like Goldberg. At the beginning of the
Goldberg. Larry had like something wrong with him mentally. Like he still had some skill, you could say. He just couldn't get over the mental aspect of like they were getting in his head, and when like they were playing the Knights, he would see like Knights coming at him. Goldberg was just a big turd.
Well, so did Goldberg. He didn't start stopping pucks until he realized they didn't hurt. Remember when they strap him to the goal?
Covered in pads. This guy's out there with just gloves on, though. I can't defend Goldberg. He was a terrible goalie.
Well, so was Larry at the beginning.
At the beginning, it took Goldberg should have been replaced. He stayed in goal even when they were on the Olympic team and they had Julie the Cat or whatever, and like she should have instantly taken his job, and they still kept his fat ass in. No, Goldberg's terrible.
Okay, I just wanted to. That was when I was watching the movie.
It was a good comparison. They were both goalies.
For us,
of how they get like, oh, you're fat. Yeah, you're the goalie.
So yeah, I just wrote down the final score is 18-0.
Also, can I say, Mom's come a long way. You start seeing all the soccer moms out there. There's a lot of just not attractive women, and now I bet if you go to a soccer game, it's just like attractive women everywhere, to put it respectfully.
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm just seeing a lot of mom jeans, a lot of like vest on, like denim vest on, and it's like, yeah, we've come a long way, man.
All right, and then so I guess it's the next day. They're back in town. Kate and a couple of the girls are walking down the street, and poor Kate sees her dad passed out at the bar as they walk past, and she just has
she's
to
walking
jet
with friends
home.
too, and that's the bad thing. She's like, I just got to go, guys.
Yep.
And again, it's like this moment with her where it's like you just obviously feel bad for her.
Yep. Let's see, and then we go into like hilarious like kid driving scene.
Yeah, but Deputy Dog letting the boys drive his patrol car like they're the Dukes of Hazzard.
And it's
they just let him just like in an open field, and they were just jumping hills, and
it's obviously on a trailer hydraulic, and it's got a green screen in the back. When it shows the view from inside the car, it's pretty bad, but I don't know, hilarious scene.
He's one of like two cops in that city, so it's like him and the sheriff. So it's like, until the sheriff's dead, he can do whatever he wants, and even then, he's just king of this town. So I can see myself doing that.
So I guess the next scene is they go back to class, and they're all kind of butthurt about the loss, and they're picking on Juan, and Juan kind of shows them what's up. Larry challenges them, and Juan kind of flicks the ball up, juggles it for a second.
Oh, he does like every trick you could think of too before just scoring on him.
Yep. And then everybody's like, oh, shit, we need this guy. They beg him to play, and he explains, like, hey, I can't. It's a family thing. And then all the kids go to Juan's house, ask his mom, and she gives in. And that leads us to the second game.
Yeah, and leading up to that, I have one of these lines. I guess it fit in right here. Kick butt all the way to Pizza Hut. I got to start using that line.
Kick butt all the way to Pizza Hut.
Get ready for my trash talk next year in Fantasy League football, boys. So I'm kicking butt all the way to Pizza Hut.
So we're at the second game. I wrote second game, still no uniforms.
We got to talk about how they finally got their name, because remember the Knights were giving them all shit because they were just showed up in their clothes. Yeah, just mean kids, man.
Nobody's from
kids
nowhere.
Are fucking mean. So they get the name Big Green because that was the name of their old football field.
Yep.
That they're now going to use that as their home field to practice on, but they go by Big Green, and yeah, they got to go, but it's like a pride for them, like it's not an insult, like they're proud of that.
And unknowingly, they birthed the name for generations of youth soccer teams forever.
What, Big Green?
Yeah. My son Landry played on a team named the Big Green.
That's really cool. What I was thinking, I was going to ask you, so these MLS teams, and I guess soccer teams, they don't have like Cowboys or Mavericks, right? I know we're just FC Dallas.
No, and originally in '96 when the league started, everybody did have a mascot.
Were we like the Bulls or something? Because I've seen
Dallas Burn.
Why do we have like a Longhorn on the?
Because I don't know, it was part of the rebrand. And if you look in the middle of the bull head on our crest, it has like a little flame. It's like a kind of like a yeah.
Well,
I would have never changed it from the Dallas Burn, just because it was unique.
What about
the colors? Yeah, the sidekicks. That is a uniquely American thing. You will find over in Korea, they do have a few teams with mascots in their name. But no, you're right. Generally in Europe, South America,
we usually got like LA Galaxy.
Yeah, you still have the Galaxy.
Yeah, you still got shit like that. So that's why I was like, well, somebody's like, isn't New York like the Red Bulls, or somebody's the Red Bulls?
Yeah, but they used to be the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, and then Red Bull actually bought them, and they changed the name to New York Red Bulls.
Well, the only reason I asked because I thought it'd be so cool because now Austin has a team. If they were like Austin Big Green and like paid homage to that,
well,
that's something Austin would do.
One of their colors are green. green and black.
Cool colors. I like their logo. I even showed it to Claire. It looks like a tree with all these roots or something.
Yeah. But the Columbus Crew last week announced that they were going to rebrand to just Columbus SC.
It pissed a lot of people off,
and the fans revolted. And
well, that is a cool name though, because you're like the Crew.
It's heritage, like it's history, it's heritage, it's who you were, and it made us. It was just uniquely American. It was uniquely MLS, and now, we've got all these watered down names. Nashville SC and FC Dallas. That was kind of unique to us, and that was kind of the one thing that we could, kind of claim as kind of ours. And you do get these general just names, It's not like, we like Arsenal, like that's really cool, for the Premier League, or a lot of these clubs in Europe are named after the neighborhoods, like Chelsea. Chelsea's in London, but I guess Chelsea's like a subsect or sub neighborhood of London, or they're named after the town, and it just made us uniquely American to have the Dallas Burn, the LA Galaxy, Chicago Fire. I liked it, and I think it's just overgeneralized. It's all vanilla, but that's a tangent. But yeah, there are still a few teams here in the States that do have.
I say let them keep it.
I'm all for it. Where were we?
Game 2?
Game 2.
Juan comes in?
Yes. Larry's still fucking terrible. I have that written down.
Yeah, we have another Goldberg at goalie.
Yeah. And then I wrote that team let a chicken flannel score on them. Kate scored because she was wearing flannel. She was wearing a flannel shirt.
Reference to the score.
No, she was wearing.
She scored the first goal of the season, and then she goes back home to her depression.
Yeah, and her dad just doesn't give a shit.
Not at all.
And then after that, we get a classic Disney music montage where they're playing in the rain. Parents join in to...
Parents are like, come on, let's go. And they're like, no, come and get the ball. And I
set
put on
the music.
Here, the wholesome parent-kid soccer game, practice in the rain, but I would be the asshole dad who just waves and get in his car. Like, I'm not getting out
I'd be in there. I'd be taking every kid out.
Be tackling?
I would just be just right into their knees.
Nope, I go in my truck, turn on NPR. Listen to some Ira Glass. Like, what do we got this week, bud?
All right, and then we finally get some uniforms. Well, they finally get the bright idea. Like, let's just get some green shirts.
Yeah, it's really all it took.
That's all
green
it took.
Shirts with a number.
And I wrote they're finally starting to look like soccer players. And we get on this long montage of just them in different games. They're doing really well. And I will say they filmed it really well because there are some like nice passes going on, like intelligent.
I was going to say
intelligent play.
Like they really made, instead of this whole movie, they, especially near the end, like the final like 20 minutes or whatever, like it was like a legit like soccer scenes. Like I thought they did a really good job of that, not just try to make like dumb small town jokes and all these shenanigans in town. Like they really went out and made like a soccer movie. Yeah,
and I will say before I forget that the actor who played Juan, he is from Texas. He was born in San Antonio, and he actually went on to play at Furman University with, and if anybody out there knows soccer, Clint Dempsey, who was a huge star for the United States.
Texas
he's
too,
from Nacogdoches, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
But he played on the same team as Clint Dempsey at Furman, and he's now a coach at Furman. So he actually did have talent. I mean, you could see it in the show, in the movie, but he actually did. He actually was a soccer player. Went on to play collegiate soccer and all that. So before I forget that,
so after the montage, all of a sudden they're 8-2-1.
Yeah, I wrote that.
Means they went on an 8-0-1 streak.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they only lost one game after that first one and drew one, and they made it to the final.
Just like that. Yep, we're in the finals.
And then I wrote Bull Douche comes back to town.
Just ruining lives for the sake of winning a city soccer championship.
I'm like, dude, are you that scared? Like your kid's leading score.
I think he's just that big of an asshole. And probably scared too, but just a mean person.
And huge bigot. Like he's a huge racist. So he finds out that he has this angle to work. And,
he's at the bar with Kate's dad, and they kind of spills the beans about that. And he's like, let me buy you another drink.
And
which is the way to that guy's heart.
He wants to win a championship so bad he's willing to have a family deported.
Yeah, right? Like ripping families apart for not even like a state championship, it's like a city championship.
It's a youth. And I'm about to get back into that world again. Landers is going to start Summer League Baseball here in a couple weeks, and I'm dreading that because I just can't stand youth sport parents. and
they're all
coaches.
toxic.
I just can't stand it.
Yeah, just let them know, hey, no scouts are here right now. You know that, right? Like, these kids are like 8 or
Six.
6. Yeah, it's the same thing with my nephew. He's like 10 now. People just losing their fucking minds. It's like they're playing flag football. Like, they're eating fruit roll-ups after this, you know? Like,
yeah, they're looking forward to going home and play video games.
Oh, absolutely.
They do not care.
Most of them are playing these sports because their dads are like, hey, you want to play football? You want to play baseball?
That, and they just want to do whatever their friends are doing.
Yeah, they don't got a friend on the team.
They don't care. You care infinitely more than they do.
Big time. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, big game. Juan's nowhere to be found.
They get New Jerseys too for the championship.
They get New
the whole
Jerseys,
town.
sweet
At that
jerseys.
point, what I really like is the whole town's behind them.
Yeah,
like they're giving out green beer, and Kate's dad like, "What is this, St. Patrick's Day?"
no,
like,
it's big green
drunk
day.
idiot, as if you would know. Like, it could be.
What do you care? Just drink it.
Yeah,
stupid.
just fucking drink. You know you're gonna drink it anyways. But like the whole town really gets behind them. Everybody's like painting on their car. They got like rows of cars going out. So when they get their new uniforms, you know, like the kids are so excited, they all jump in their cars, and it's like 20 cars just headed out. So I really like that. I really like how the whole team brought the town together, which was a cool theme.
I got busy at work. I couldn't take notes on the final. Can you carry me through this final?
Man, yeah, I think it was 2-0 at halftime. Knights were up. Juan shows up.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an injury on the field, so I don't know if that means like now we can sub this guy in. Deputy Dog brings him and Juan's mom, and he tells her like, I got her a lawyer and I'm going to sponsor her, which is a great thing, you know, like that's really cool to do.
Leave it to Steve Gutenberg.
Such a great guy.
We
should just call it the Steve Gutenberg podcast.
What a guy.
If we have to like change his name again, it's going to be like Gutenberg's podcast or something like that. It's going to be a theme for him somehow.
Gutenpod.
Juan ties it. It's a 2-2 game. He ties it as time expires. So they go to this shootout. The ref tells them like, we're not doing overtime or whatever. We're going straight penalty kicks. Thank
you for getting that term right.
Penalty kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I put down PK. Even got the abbreviation.
That works as well.
So they pick out their first 4, and they're like, all right, we need one more. And Little Newt is like, I'll do it. He's like, I'm not scared, and I got a low center of gravity. I didn't sound anything like that kid when I did that impersonation. So I even had the scores here. It's 1-1, then 2-2, 3-3. That can't be right. 3-3 again. Then they both missed. So Larry actually blocked like 2 in a row.
Yeah, he did.
And then he got to the final shot, and it's bullhorn douchebag coach's son's up. And he's like, this is my boy. Oh, I wish I had the line down. He goes, this is my son. This is everyone's favorite player. And he's like, yeah, let's go. And he gets the crowd standing. And then Larry does like reverse psychology. So he's seeing the kid as like the knight, and he's getting scared. And he's like, become the nightmare. And then he's like I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know what it was.
Shaman warrior.
Yeah.
And he's like, spinning like a baton around or something. So he kind of freaks out the kid. And he ends up blocking the shot. So it was what? 3-4 at that point. Or no, it had to be.
It was still 3-3.
3-3, yeah, because they won on 3-4. So it's 3-3, and Little Newt comes up, and he like sets the ball down, gets a running start.
Gets his little goat horn.
Yeah, he gets his little goat horn and started doing that with his foot, which I feel stupid now because people can't see me doing that. But he was like, digging into the ground, and then he runs and does like a sliding kick and just goes straight in, and fucking Little Newt won at 3-4. I put Big Green as immediately on my Mount Rushmore of soccer movies, along with Final Score. Have you seen that with Dave Bautista? It's a dope action movie that takes place like at I don't know if it's a Premier League game, but it was like Die Hard at a soccer game, dude.
Nice.
It's fucking good.
Have you seen Green Street Hooligans?
Green Street Hooligans number 2 on my list, dog.
Okay, sorry.
And the last one, Kicking and Screaming, because I couldn't think of a third soccer movie. But that's a decent movie. It's another like kids movie
For sure.
And that was it. And then you like see them back in town. They got a billboard. They're the junior division soccer champions, and they now have the 4th highest test scores in the state, which is overshadowed and a great accomplishment. And I thought British lady should be the national teacher of the year after all she's done.
That's right.
Not only like turning that town and soccer team around, but they're like 4th in scores now.
Yeah, and you skipped over that Bull Douche had to kiss the goat.
Oh yeah, that was the bet they made
because he thought they were going to win.
Slime ball. That's like, hey, how about if we win, you give me a kiss?
Well, how about you kiss my goat, bitch?
And he did. He at least he's man of his word. He honored that deal, which is about the only honorable thing he did all movie.
All right, so that was the Big Green. Just another blast from the past.
It was actually a really good, like, wholesome movie.
We love doing. I don't know, but I love doing these movies from our childhood.
I like it. If anybody else doesn't, well, make your own podcast, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
Tell you.
That's all
our
I can tell you.
podcast. Make it whatever we want.
If anybody's got any suggestions, if you got our numbers, text us. If not, reach out to us on
Put
Instagram.
your number out there for everybody.
I think like all 12 of them may have it.
And if they don't, then they have my number. So we'll just like correspond with each other.
So yeah, that was Big Green. Do we have a direction we're going for the next pod?
I wish we talked about this beforehand. We could put up the 2 movies that didn't. Oh shit! I did put on here. I want to review Angus. You remember that movie? I don't know where it's streaming.
I haven't seen it.
I used to love that movie as a child. Like I don't know what it is about it, so I want to like rewatch it to see what I liked about it so much.
I was probably 12 years old.
I mean, we could do like Richie Rich, Angus. We still got Little Giants. If we want to keep up a sports theme, Little Giants, Angels in the Outfield, Little Big League, Rookie of the Year, like.
Yeah, we've got options, so we'll talk about it.
That was like a golden era of like kid sports movies in the 90s. So
we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Going. And it's not like when we were like, hey, vote on this. It's like, well, it's 2-2 ties. Let's just break the tie. So I don't know if we really like.
No, I'll put a poll up. We'll decide on 2 movies, put a poll up, let you guys vote, and we'll do whatever you tell us to do because we're whores. So with that, let's move on to sports. And in the sports segment, we are going to lead off with draft coverage. The draft is come and gone. It's a sad time. It's our favorite time of the year. We got 12 more months.
Yeah, I took off all days for that. I took off Friday and Saturday.
That's commitment.
I felt stupid because I thought Friday was like during the day. I really could have worked that day because Thursday and Friday, rounds 1, 2, and 3 on those 2 days were like
at
prime
6
time.
p.m.
I should have just taken off Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was just like laying on the couch all day. It was a great time.
Soaking it in.
I remember I texted you. I was like, I have like 5 cans of bean dip for this draft. I was just eating bean dip and like just, I just had like water and like bean dip.
Because I was wondering, you sent me all that bean dip. I was like, does he have no chips for that?
Oh, of course I got chips. But when you get to the bottom, that's when you take your finger and roll around the room.
Yep.
Yeah, I killed like 5 cans of bean dip,
Good
dude.
God.
No regrets.
Your bowel movements must have been gnarly.
Let's not talk about it.
All right, so why don't you dive in?
Dive into our draft?
Let's just go one through our pick, and then we can kind of hit
on some good ones there. All right, number 1, Jacksonville. They had this pick for a long time. It was a no-brainer.
We knew where they were doing.
Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine. Everyone said he was the best prospect since like Luck, and before that Manning. They say he can't miss prospects, so apparently Jacksonville might be making some AFC Championship appearances in the next few years.
Wouldn't mind that. I got family from Jacksonville, so
I would mind it because I fucking hate Urban Meyer. I'm sure after the first couple years, if they're like losing record, he'll have some excuse to leave.
He won't be around.
Yeah. So as long as he leaves, then yeah, great. Get him in a Super Bowl. I'm fine
but that's my concern about Trevor Lawrence is you're not setting him up. Then who are you going to bring in after Urban? That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
In his development.
But if Lawrence is a draw, it'd be like, who wants to come coach? Peyton Manning in his prime. It's like, I'll fucking come. I'll leave my school or my team to go there. Number 2 was Zach Wilson. He might have been the number 2 pick, but he's number 1 in a beauty contest. That is a handsome man.
He looks like if the Disney Channel made a movie about the NFL draft.
Yeah,
like he's the star quarterback,
and Zac Efron's like his best friend.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance went number 3. I had a problem with that.
That was a weird choice.
That was just weird because San Francisco, didn't they give up like 3 future first-round picks to go from 12 to 3?
Yep.
And I mean, at that point, you could have waited, in hindsight, of course, and pretty much gotten Justin Fields to trade up 1 pick.
For sure, yeah.
So to get Lance is like, and they had the whole smoke screen of, we're taking Mac Jones. I'm like, fuck no, you're not. Like, why would you trade 3 picks to get a guy that was a scout quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
So that was just weird. The whole situation with San Francisco, the guy has, they said it on there, in his college and high school career combined, he has about 500 pass attempts.
Yep. And
you just mortgaged your future of your franchise for that guy. So we'll see.
We'll
see what happens.
The small school quarterbacks. Carson Wentz had a season. Joe Flacco.
He had 1 good season.
Yeah, that's why.
Flacco had 1 good playoff run.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm mortgaging that. I don't know if I'm paying
Steve
that price.
McNair, though.
You're talking about a different era, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking small school.
No, you're right.
That's how deep back you got to go. It's like, well, shit. Is Boston College in '84 like old? But no.
Well, and if you want to go you can say Big Ben at Marshall.
He went to Miami,
or
Ohio.
Miami. Sorry,
That
Miami.
is a small school, though.
It's a small school.
Who else went to Miami, Ohio? So that was a good one to pull out.
But it's not. It's not 1AA like they're playing.
Right.
That's a steep price to pay for.
Very steep price for a guy that's only had 500 passing attempts.
When you have who I think is probably the best quarterback prospect,
Fields.
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna have a better career.
Yeah, at work I got a buddy that's a San Francisco fan from here, which I hate when people are like born and raised here, but they're fans. Like, oh, you spent your summers in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Please tell me about that.
Oh no, you didn't. You're just
a bandwagon fan.
Okay,
Cool. But I have another buddy who's actually from Chicago, so he's a big Bears fan. And the next day I was like, man, y'all did a fantastic job. Like, you traded up and you got arguably maybe the best quarterback. He's like, I don't really know much about him. I was like, trust me, y'all did really great.
Yeah,
like, everyone says y'all probably
good.
won the night that game. Number 4, Kyle Pitts, probably the Hall of Fame talent. Everyone says like this is probably besides Lawrence, Pitts is probably the can't miss prospect. And if he was there at 10, you bet your sweet cheeks I'm making that pick.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad they took him at 4, so I didn't have to make the decision.
He wouldn't have made it past 5 or 6. You know what I mean? Like those guys, the ones that took their offense, the wide receivers. But yeah, watch out, Kyle Pitts, dude. Like he could easily be the 3rd, maybe 4th tight end selected in this year's fantasy draft for us. At least and me and you, Kelsey, Kittle, Gronk maybe. But after that, we got Tanyan.
It's got to be Pitts.
I mean, Pitts is the top 5 tight end option already. Like, I hope we have people like in our leagues that like don't pay, because I know we probably pay more attention to any of them.
Yep.
There's guys that act like these rookies don't matter, and it's like Kyle Pitts is probably going to he could easily get 10 touchdowns this year, especially if they trade Julio.
And I don't want to,
and he's the focal point.
And I don't want to, get too off track, but CeeDee Lamb was a quarterback injury away from having probably like an 80, 90 catch, 1,300 yard season. And he was a rookie. So you're right. He
even had some great moments with Dalton too, like unbelievable catches, like that one in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was a ridiculous catch. That's like a catch like Amari Cooper might not can make.
Yep.
With him stretching out. Number 5. This is where I had another big problem. Cincinnati.
After 4, it gets really weird. 4 to like 12 or 13 it's just weird.
And I get Jamar Chase, going to Cincinnati, and they're like, he's a great pass catcher.
After what just happened to Joe Burrow, I don't see how you don't get the other generational talent in the draft
and
to protect him for a decade and a half. I don't get it.
What everyone said is like, because quarterbacks could be like hit or miss, but everyone thinks, Lawrence is the guy. The other 2 people that were like can't miss Hall of Fame talents were Kyle Pitts and Penei Sewell. So you just took you used your number 1 pick last year to take a quarterback who showed flashes like Joe Burrow, I think is a good quarterback, and you want to give him a weapon that he played with in college. Okay, that's smart, but you had the best offensive tackle to come out in the last like 5 years sitting right there for you. He literally fell into your lap. People were like, they might have to use. If Cincinnati got the 2 or 3 pick, they were like, they might take that offensive lineman 2 or 3. He fell to you at 5, and they go, no, we're going to take this wide receiver. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow's legs falling off. So that was ridiculous.
Real quick on Joe Burrow, he did get the all clear, so he won't miss training camp. He'll be there
until week 3 when he gets hurt again.
I just don't get it, and I know they drafted some later in the draft, but like I said, after 4, everything goes.
And it's way more difficult to find a cornerstone left tackle later rounds than it is to find like a good receiver.
Look at Michael Gallup.
Look at Antonio Brown. Like went in the 6th. Gallup went in the 3rd. Like we got guys that you can find. Michael Gallup would be a number 1 on some of these teams. He'd be a number 1 on Cincy.
Over T. Higgins.
You gotta take that cornerstone left.
I know. I agree.
Like
I said, after 4, it gets bonkers.
Yeah, and then we had 6. Miami took Jalen Waddle, which again that paired up Tua with his old college teammate.
Have you seen pictures of the minicamp over the weekend?
No.
He looks fucking little.
Jalen Waddle?
Yeah. Or no, not Jalen Waddle. Sorry.
Tua?
The other cat from Alabama. Devontae.
In Philly? Well, the Slim Reaper's his name. He weighed about 142 pounds. Looked like he just got out of Auschwitz.
He looks fucking little.
Hey, he got us a 3rd-round pick just to make that.
I'm fine with that. Anyway, Jalen Waddle. That'll be good for Tua.
Yeah, that's a good
That'll be good for Tua.
Great playmaker, dude. Like, Devontae Smith doesn't win that Heisman unless Jalen Waddle goes down because everyone thought Jalen Waddle was the better of the 2.
Yeah, he was the favorite.
And he's from Houston, so Texas connection. Number 7, Detroit Lions said, "Thank you. We will take Penei Sewell."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now they got Jared Goff. They got like 2 first-round picks
Mm-hmm.
plus Goff for that. So and Dan Campbell's just an absolute maniac. Like,
did you hear about all the stuff he's doing?
did you hear he wanted to have a pet lion?
He wants to have a real lion.
And if like this squad over here is doing a bad job, the lion goes and takes a shit right next to him.
Yeah.
I love Dan Campbell. Now that DMX is dead, that might be my new spirit animal.
Dude,
in person.
I just think the players in Detroit are excited that they're going to have a coach that they
he's
can get
talking
stoned
about,
with.
He's talking about biting people's kneecaps off. I mean, he's an absolute lunatic.
Okay.
I love it.
I love it too. But here's the thing with that. He has to win. Because if he doesn't, he just...
Not really. It's Detroit. You can win 6 games and it's an improvement.
He just looks like a fucking idiot if none of this works.
I don't know.
That's fine. You can talk and be crazy. But you got to win. You got to win. Otherwise, you look like a fucking idiot.
Again, there's not much like... history of winning in
No,
Detroit.
no.
So they're going to give him a big leash, especially if he's a fan and player favorite. He'll get a good 3 years to get, to make that playoff appearance. And who was that? Caldwell or whoever they fired after he consistently made the playoffs for them?
Yeah, Jim Caldwell.
Jim Caldwell?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I feel bad for that guy. But yeah, I mean, perfect for them. Just fell right into it. And he's really a great first pick for Dan Campbell because that's the kind of guy Dan Campbell would want. Like, come, bring your lunch pill, put this guy's dick in the dirt, get up, do it again.
Yep.
Great pick for Dan Campbell.
Yep.
And I would love to have like a weekly like sound bite of like Dan Campbell. Like, what the hell is Dan Campbell saying this week? And we just play some crazy shit.
I'll be tuning in. I'll be paying attention to line pressers for this year.
All right, and this is where the heartbreak begins.
This is where it really gets bad.
And I started hearing this a lot in the day because everyone was saying like Carolina is really infatuated with J.C. Horn, and after they traded for Sam Darnold, they didn't need a new quarterback, and I think that Darnold trade is going to be actually really good for him.
Well, he's in good hands.
Yeah,
Matt Rule.
So they take J.C. Horn. That's who I wanted all along. Like we talked about it a couple weeks ago in our pre-draft, and my dream scenario was I was cocky enough to think maybe we could trade down like with New England to 15 and pick up like an extra 1 or 2 and pick Horn. He goes 8. 9 really surprised me. This is the one that really got me because they had Mac Jones and Justin Fields sitting right there, and Denver takes another corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started getting that pit in my stomach. And
they really fucked us.
That I just put on here, fuck, with about 7 U's, my backup pick. And I really think the Cowboys started to just scramble at that point. Like, they really thought they were going to get one of these two guys. Like, they went into it, like,
yeah, for sure.
100% sold.
I'm not
they
sure,
were getting a corner.
I'm not sure they had a backup plan, but we'll get to it.
I think they had a backup to the backup, and that was Micah Parsons, but they were like, and I think it was a great move because, to trade down, that is, because the Giants wanted him at 11. Well, then Philly wants him, but they have the 12th pick. So you got to think, like, well, do I want him to go to New York or do I want to go to Philly? Because he's going in our division. Might as well make a deal with the Eagles and pick up a 3rd-round pick.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame him at all.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. So, he goes to, Eagles trade up, they take him. Good for them, like, I hope he doesn't break every bone in his body because he looks so malnourished. And we get an extra 3rd-round pick, and then the Bears trade down to like 19 or some shit. I'm sorry, Giants trade down with the Bears. They get Fields. Our pick, let me get Micah Parsons, a guy that from the very first episodes when we started doing this like a year ago, we said, if we get a top 5 pick or we get a top 10 pick, Micah Parsons should be that number 1. And a lot of people did have him rated number 1 defender in the whole draft class. So to say you might have arguably gotten the number 1 defensive player at number 12 and picked up an extra pick for him, I think it's a win.
I feel much better about it today than when it happened, especially after hearing reports, after hearing Broadus talk about his minicamp and how he looked. Broadus was like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's top 2 candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I've heard that. I think the early odds are out, and he's already your favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year.
So I'm good. Mm-hmm. It takes Jalen off the field a little bit. He is going to play Mike, so he does have that range.
Parsons Mike?
Yeah, he's going to play in the middle.
Yeah, that's
so
good.
he does have that athleticism. I think, what does he run, like a 4.5?
No, it was like 4, low 4, if not like 4.39.
Okay, so
because he was running as fast as some of these corners.
So he does have that athletic ability to get sideline to sideline. It's going to get Jalen off the field.
Thank God.
Hopefully LVE can stay healthy, and we'll talk about another selection a little bit later.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what? I'm fine if we have a complete cleaning of the house with these linebackers.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll get to that.
So who was
number 13 to the Chargers? Again, I put on here they were jizzing all over themselves to have Rashawn Slater slip to them. because you already got arguably what. I mean, you could say Herbert's already a top 10, if not
the Chargers
top 8.
did for Justin Herbert what the Bengals should have did for Joe Burrow.
They're like, you know what? You're a young star. You're going to tear it up for the next 10 years. Let's get you a tackle.
And honestly, they could have used the wide receiver help more than Cincinnati, in my opinion.
They got Keenan Allen.
They got Keenan Allen, who's aging.
Eckler's a good pass-catching back, but...
They don't have a number 2.
But they didn't have the wide receiver sitting there. Like I said, this was the perfect scenario for them because a lot of people had Slater going like top 10 easy.
Yeah.
And then it was between us. It was like, well, should the Cowboys take a tackle to maybe groom under Tyron and get ready for that spot, or they should get the defensive help? I'm glad we went defensive help. I got the Chargers, like I said, just all over themselves.
Yeah, no.
And then just put that
They couldn't have picked up that phone fast enough to put that pick in.
That was a great pick for them, dude. Herbert was probably thrilled about that. 14, Jets trade back up, and they get Elijah Vera Tucker, which, again, that was a great night for the Jets. They got a quarterback who they think's the future, and then they got a guy to protect them. Can't ask for much more than that. 15, Patriots stay put and get the guy they wanted all along, Mac Jones.
Yep.
So that was, again, it kind of worked out for them. 16, Zaven Collins. He just pairs with Isaiah Simmons, who went early last year to Arizona. I think that's a good, solid, young, athletic linebacking core. Las Vegas. Biggest reach. Underwood with they said that was the biggest reach. They could have seen him going second, maybe third.
But Miami. That's Gruden. Gruden loves doing that shit. He loves doing it.
What guy did he get?
He was a defensive player out of Clemson.
No, I'm thinking they're Mayock, the new
Mike
GM
Mayock,
there, who was like on ESPN forever. Miami had another pick. They got Jalen Phillips, who's big and quick. They said he's the best edge rusher in the draft. Again, they've just been killing it since they started rebuilding. I think they're going to be knocking on the door with Buffalo to win that division. The Washington football team takes Jameer Davis. It's to their young, talented defense. I still think they're just a quarterback away from the playoffs. The Giants finally pick here. They get Kadarius Toney after they wanted Adams. That's why they traded back. And they get the lesser of the wide receiver. Get down to 22. We got Caleb Farley, who, some people thought could have been the number 1 corner in this draft before injuries. I think it was a back injury, too, so that's always sketchy to me. 23, Minnesota gets Christian Darrisaw. Everybody said that was a great pick. They still got a good offensive lineman. These are the last 2 for me. Great pick here. A lot of people destroyed them because they say you don't take a running back in the first round, but I still think Najee Harris is going to be, at the end of the year, he'll be a top 15 running back. He's going to kill it. He's like a triple threat. He's a 3-down back, and watching him in college, it's like Barry Sanders mixed with Alvin Kamara. I mean, the guy just looks phenomenal. I'm a huge Najee Harris fan. I texted our buddy Nick and was like, he's instantly better than Zeke, just because I'm such a Zeke hater. And he was like, yeah, I know. Actually, put on here, already better than Zeke. And then lastly, we'll just end it randomly at 25. Jacksonville uses their second first-round pick to get Travis Etienne, which to me was a terrible pick because you had James Robinson that was either undrafted or a 7th-round pick last year.
You're paying him no money.
You're paying him no money, and he had over 1,000 yards.
And it was really bizarre that Urban Meyer had him take all the minicamp drills at wide receiver. He got all his reps at wide receiver, which is weird.
I think I thought personally maybe they did it was hey, let's make Trevor Lawrence a little happier to be here. But they were and then Urban Meyer even said well, he's going to be a good gadget player for us, and he's going to come down in third down situations. They're use the first round pick on a guy to come in on trick plays and third downs.
I
mean, you could have gotten offensive line help. You could have went defensive, but it's you took a fucking running back that you don't need. I just thought that was a terrible pick. Everyone bashed both those picks. All the experts, you don't take a running back. But I was Najee Harris is solid, dude. He's going to be great. I make that pick 9 times out of 10.
I agree.
10 times out of 10. Because Connor, where did he go? Arizona. So James Connor's gone. They don't have a running back. Dude, they immediately got better at that position.
Yep,
So I love that pick for Pittsburgh.
All right, so let's get into just the rest of the Cowboys picks.
All right, so we got Parsons. Again, that was our third choice on the night. I really feel since we didn't get that corner day one, they were dead set on taking a cornerback.
Yeah,
so
we got Kelvin Joseph.
They got Kelvin Joseph, which the pick right before that, though, was Trevon Mulrig.
Yeah, from TCU.
How fucking good would that have been? I think their dream scenario, because that changed everything when they had to shift and take Parsons. If they have gotten Horn or Surtain, I think they would have loved to get Mulrig, because now you completely flipped your
Yep.
your defensive back team.
Mhm.
You know, your whole unit's changed now, where they're both like such. Even if it was Horn, Surtain, one of those two plus Mulrig, you got two alpha leaders coming in. You know, Diggs is already there. I mean, it just would have completely changed that unit. So
Yep.
it broke my heart. I think they were dead set on getting that cornerback. The only thing that, like, because I obviously don't know much about all these guys, but what I don't like about Kelvin Joseph, he has more albums that he's released than interceptions.
Yep.
That fucking worries me. What's his name? Boss Man Fat is his
Yep.
rap name.
Mhm.
He's all about him.
I'm concerned about about a give a damn with that guy.
I think the first thing he's going to do is like buy a stupid car and like put a recording studio in a house, and he's just going to be more worried about that, which again worries me.
Well, let's hope not. That was round 2? So we had what, 3?
Round 3, we had 3 picks. All defense too. What were we like? First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks for defense. I think that was the first time Cowboys have ever done that or something like that.
Yep.
Number 75 in the 3rd round, we had defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa. I hope I said that right. I heard he was like a wrestler growing up and just like a big-bodied guy, high motor, which I always love to hear that shit. I really didn't hear anything like too negative or too great about him. I think he's just going to be like, let me just come in here and put my work in every day. So
he's going to replace kind of the Antoine Woods,
And Antoine Woods got released, I believe, and what's his name? Crawford retired.
Yep.
So that was a good pick. 84. This is what we picked up from affiliate for doing that trade. We got Chauncey Golston. I believe he was from Iowa.
He's kind of a jack of all trades, on the edge kind of player. Haven't heard anything really negative about him. And then this is the pick.
Number 99 coming up. This is the one that just was the ultimate curveball that no one saw coming and no one really liked.
Nahshon Wright out of Oregon State. He was a 6th-round grade.
I didn't even hear that. I heard that some people on like their top 250 didn't even have him listed.
But I will say, all the reports out of this first little rookie minicamp is him and Parsons were the stars.
Oh, hell yeah.
Him and Parsons were the stars.
Obviously way too early. They said you can't really judge a draft class until like 3 years.
Yeah.
So we're just. But what killed me is right after that we had Elijah Molden and
Afili
Watu,
yep.
Melo Wanu.
Yep.
Anyway, just freak athletes, guys. That the Melo Funawanu is just like I saw him go in mock drafts in round 1. Just a freak athlete, long, lengthy. But they said the same thing about Nahshon Wright.
He's 6'4". He's got the length. He's got the athleticism. And everything I heard interview-wise from him is he is a dog. He does want to be here. Yeah.
Sweet.
He does want to be here. And him and Parsons got the high grades coming out of rookie minicamp.
All right.
So, still, that's a weird pick. But this 4th-round pick is what...
This is what gets me a little chub.
Yeah.
The Jabril Cox pick.
Jabril Cox. You got an SEC linebacker, played on a prestigious program. And if he can come in and him and Parsons can lead the defense,
Oh, yeah, that's why I was thinking
5-7 years.
Because someone brought, I think it was like Kavanaugh or something, was like, the first wave of this was when they got Lee. And remember Bruce Carter? Bruce Carter.
Stud,
yeah. He just, I guess, couldn't stay healthy. But that combo came in, and then we had LVE and Jalen, and now they're tapering off. And now it's like this new wave is going to be Parsons and Cox. And I'm like, that is a great... The Cox pick might actually be my favorite pick of the night or for the draft because it sent a direct message to Jalen Smith. And then the next day, I believe it was that Monday, was the day to pick up a 5th-year option for those guys like LVE. And Cowboys declined to pick up that option. Doesn't mean they can't re-sign them. Just means they're not going to pay him $9 million next year.
Yep.
They can still re-sign them, but it's like, hey, y'all better stay healthy and y'all better play good because we got 2 dudes sitting over here that would love to take your job from you.
Yep.
So that was probably my favorite pick just because of the message it sent. I can't tell if this was 4th or 5th round, but next pick was Josh Ball.
Was he at a Marshall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went somewhere initially.
Yeah, he was at a big school. And
was
then
it Miami or Florida State or something like that, but apparently he had some pretty bad, domestic abuse, which is not cool.
Yep. Pretty bad, pretty horrific stuff.
Because I think they were like, that's why he slipped this far. It was because, he has a talent of a 2nd rounder, and I heard some of the stuff, man. He was it was bad. It was pretty bad, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to spend too much time on him because that's a really piece of shit move.
This one has me excited too.
I just want to say the next 3 picks is just a serious run of great names. So we'll get to them.
Simi Fehoko,
Wide receiver out of Stanford. I heard too first because they're like, he's going to be like the fifth receiver, so he's not going to be tearing it up. But they said he is a special teams demon.
And
I love hearing shit like that.
He's like 6'3.5", 6'4".
Great measurables.
He's got great flow. The hair is great.
Yeah.
He's got great hair, great name.
And you got to think when you're at this point, like 5th, 6th, 7th round, like you're looking for traits. You're looking for like length, or you're looking for instinct or high motor guys. Because right now it's like digging bottom of the barrel. Mm-hmm. 6th round we got a nose tackle, Quentin Bohanna.
Yep, and I've heard he's just a plug. He's just a great name. He is just a bucket full of rocks, just sitting right there in the middle of that.
Just a big-bodied,
big dude.
Can't really move me. I'm just going to stand here, guy.
Yep. So that was good.
Next pick, we got a safety, Israel Muka Uwamu.
Yep.
Another great name. Yeah.
Great name.
I just want these guys to be stars so I can get that Israel jersey.
And then we finish up with round 7.
With the guard, Matt
Farnock.
So, you got a couple offensive linemen, you got your wide receiver, and then it's just like straight defense, which is what everyone wanted. I think the most surprising thing is we didn't trade away any picks. We just kind of sat there and got all 11 or 12 picks because we actually traded for an extra one. So I think we had 11.
Which is you want as many darts to throw at the board as you can get, and that's what we did. And overall, like you said, we'll wait and see. Excited for Parsons, excited for Jabril Cox. Interested to see what the corners do, but
and this is why you watch preseason football. You want to watch these guys play.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be into those preseason games.
And we're pretty close to training camp, probably 8 weeks or so, nice. 8-10 weeks away from training camp. So we'll have another mini camp here pretty quick, I think, and then we're into training camp, and then so we're getting close.
Creeping right into the season.
It's coming up quick. All right, and that brings us into the schedule breakdown. Let's go through the schedule. Let's kind of go through and we'll put W or L, kind of go over it. Just some little fun facts. The Cowboys are set to play 5 primetime games. Buccaneers week 1, Eagles week 3, Vikings week 8, Saints in week 13, and Washington week 16. Week 7 is the bye week. Strength of schedule. We have the second easiest schedule in the league. Awesome. Let's see. We do have tough opponents. We have an easy schedule, but we do have Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes to play. So let's get through this.
Fuck Tom Brady.
We got week 1. Thursday night football.
That's the first game of the year.
At the defending champions. I don't like the fact that it's Thursday. I like having my Cowboys openers on Sunday.
I know, right?
Thursday I'm going to bust this nut, and then I'll be excited because of fantasy for Sunday and all that, but I don't know. It's going to be cool, I guess. I'm just debating on whether to take off work or not.
Like an all-day
thing. I'll just throw something on the smoker. I don't know. What do you got? I have this as a loss just because Dak's first game back after a long layoff. You've got the defending champs at home. No. Tom Brady. I've got this as an L for me.
I got it as an absolute win.
Okay.
I think it's a revenge game for Dan Quinn. I think he's going to scheme his all summer for this fucking game. And you got what's it called, like a championship hangover.
Yep.
I think they're going to come out a little too hyped. I think Tom Brady's a piece of shit. I just don't like Tom Brady, so I want him to lose. I want to see a little Micah Parsons, like low blow, take out a kneecap.
Okay, we're rooting for injury here. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
here we go. All right. So I've got that as an L. Andrew has got it as a dub.
Big win.
So we start the first 2 games on the road.
The next game's hard too, man.
Yeah, we go.
I honestly could see this as a loss.
We go at the Chargers. I think we rebound here. I think we get the W here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the only thing that worries me obviously is Herbert, but
against an unproven
them
secondary.
not getting like an extra weapon, so you got to worry about is Allen and Eckler. I could see that as a win.
Okay.
And we're going to seem really biased here, but like you said, it's the second easiest schedule.
Yeah.
No. I think. And okay, next
week.
There's
going to be games to where we're not supposed to win and we win, and we're going to choke a few away. Just like we do every year.
Absolutely.
Then we get our second we got our second primetime game against the Eagles. They're dog shit. I got this as a W.
That's a win. I was gonna say later in the year we usually like split it with the Eagles, but this is at Dallas, so that's a win.
Yeah, first home game. Crowd will be on our side Monday night. Week 4 against the Panthers. You got Sam Darnold, even though Sam Darnold's beat us once before. I've got this as a W.
Yeah. The only thing that worries me though is Matt Rule and a healthy Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey, yeah. But hopefully we've got Parsons to neutralize that, and Jabril Cox and LVE, if he's healthy. And then we got Giants week 5. I think by now Jason Garrett's job will be coming into question because I think they'll be 0-4. They're just dog shit terrible. And then
I think Patriots is a loss for us because Bill Belichick schemes for shit like this. It's at home.
Do you think we will be seeing Cam or Mac Jones by this point?
I think it's still Cam.
Yeah, I think it's still.
I think it's Mac maybe after their bye week or midway point, but the thing I fear the most is Belichick. So to me, that's our first.
I fear Belichick as well. But this is one of those ones where I tell you that we're going to win one we're not supposed to. So I'm going to put this down as a dub.
Oh, Patriots is a win for you?
Yes, I'm going to put that down.
I'm still putting that as a loss.
We're going to get that monkey. We're going to get that Belichick monkey off our back. Week 7, I got that as a loss. Oh wait, that's a bye. Never mind. Sorry. Week 8 at the Vikings Sunday night in prime time. Kirk Cousins.
That was a good game last year, but we had Andy Dalton and we still won.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a win.
That's a win for me
because they were all healthy. They had Thielen, they had they had Cook. That was a healthy team, and we still beat them without our tackles and quarterback.
We got the Broncos at home.
Depending on if they get Aaron Rodgers, this could flip because right now I think it's a win for us because we're against Drew Lock.
I agree with you.
But if they get Rodgers, it's flipped, and then now it's a loss because he's that good.
I agree with you. I'm gonna go with a.
We sound like such homers right now. They're like 7-1.
They're 6-1 right now. 7-1. I'm gonna go a loss here because I think Rodgers does end up there. Okay. I don't think it's repairable in Green Bay.
I don't either, man. He's such an asshole though for trying to get out.
I'm going with an L on that one, pending Rodgers. Then we got the Falcons and Kyle Pitts coming to town. Week 10. I've got that.
Falcons have a good offense though, man. Like they could easily put up 40.
Remember that game last year, the watermelon kick and all that. That was against Atlanta. So yeah, you're right.
But then they add, probably the best offensive player, but I still see it as a win.
I see it as a win. Chiefs.
That's a loss.
That's a big loss.
And the Week 12, that's the Thanksgiving game. You got a tough opponent there, but I think it's a win.
I got a loss there.
You got a loss. A lot of people were kind of split on it. So
I got a loss there. Saints Thursday.
I'm going to put a loss because I don't want to be that big of a homer.
I got a loss, or I got a win.
Without
the following
Breeze.
Thursday without Breeze.
That's a win.
Jameis, that'll be a win. WFT Week 14.
This is where the schedule makers kind of fucked up, and they go, "Oh shit, they haven't played hardly anyone in division."
Yep.
Let's do 4 out of the next 5 weeks.
I got a dub there. At the Giants, I got a dub there.
That's a win. Washington again.
I think that's a dub. Cardinals, I'll take that as a loss.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then Eagles, I'll take that as a loss as well. We'll lose 2 straight to end the season. So what do you got?
I got 12-5.
12-5. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You got 11-6?
11-6. In NFL, can we please, for my OCD, bad brain, bad math brain, can we go to 18 games? Because this odd number shit is driving me insane.
It's fucking ridiculous.
So I've got 11-6. I've got us winning the division. So that was a little breakdown. Any games you're just hyped for, just right off, just we'll talk about it real quick.
Oh, you're talking to me specifically? I think it's a great first game. The fact that we get the defending champs. I really think Dan Quinn, though, is going to take that shit personally and,
I will say, out of all the reports...
To, just destroy Tom Brady.
Out of all the reports and little video snippets that I've seen, they're saying Dan Quinn is a breath of fresh air. He is on the field in drills, lining up as nose tackles, or
I already love him.
he's teaching technique hands on. He's got his hands on the players. So I'm really hoping he's one of those things where he's a better coordinator than he was a head coach. And
he was great in Seattle.
But, I don't think they're going to go 11-6. They're probably going to go like 10-7. There's one of these games where I'm a homer, and I could, like you said, the Falcons I could see as a loss, and then
I don't feel like we were two homers. Like you said, we had the second easiest schedule. I think the ones like no brainer, like okay, even if you said we lose the Buccaneers game, fine, then we could easily beat the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly.
We could easily beat the Cardinals,
and it's going to be weird. It is every year.
I think it's a double-digit win season. I'll say that. I think we get double digits.
For
10 to 12 wins without being too homerish. The Chiefs game probably be our game of the year if we can play up to that level. Because it would be like, this is, at that point, they're probably the best team in the league. Chiefs have been for the last 2 years. So it's like, that's your measuring stick. You know, do we win or do we lose by 20?
So
We'll tell you a lot about where the year's going.
So that was the Cowboys' schedule. They've turned this thing into an event as well. They televise it, and it's 2 or 3 hours long. Yeah, they did. Yep. So
they probably had a fucking sponsor for it. Brought to you by Pepsi.
I believe they did. I didn't watch it, but I believe they did. Okay. Let's get into what are we watching, what are we listening to, and we'll get out of here. I finished wrapping up Criminal Minds. I'm all caught up. Finished the whole series. It's kind of my little. I explained it. Me and my mom watched it together. So finished that up. It's actually not bad for a little procedural. And you get to look at Shmar Moore. Little stud muffin there.
Was that the guy with the goofy hair?
No, he is very hot. But Shmar Moore is like the light skinned black dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like how I made a joke about it being a guy, and you're like, no, it's the other guy. Actually.
It's the other hot guy.
It's the hotter guy.
And then in the last couple of days, I restarted House of Cards.
Yeah,
and
I've never seen that. I've heard good things.
I think you would really enjoy it. And I just really forgot how much the character Frank Underwood is just a ruthless cunt in that movie.
You mean just Kevin Spacey being kind of Kevin Spacey?
Yeah, and kind of how he embodied that character when
too much.
When people started dying off in his surrounding his allegations. Did you not hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of Frank
Underwood. And you barely even heard anything about it.
Yeah. So
it's like, no, people are dying that knew things about him.
Yeah, so...
I think we said too much.
Those are and I watched Mitchell's versus the Machines on Netflix. That was a great
recommended?
Movie. Yes, highly.
We're going to check it out.
Take Ellie, get a bowl of popcorn, a couple hours, and y'all have a great time. It's a really fun movie. I started listening to this fictional crime drama called Hunted, and it was... created and produced by Dick Wolf, who Law and Order guy. Yeah, it's really well done. It's
great
basically like
too.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, what an awesome name.
It'd be better if it was Wolf Dick, but
no, that'd be weird.
But yeah, it's a fictional true crime drama. It's really cool. And then one I put you on, which is kind of disappointing. Confronting Columbine.
Yeah, I hadn't started because I wanted it to be more episodes.
So you could binge it.
Yeah, binge it.
It's really disappointing. It's not.
Well,
it's
I guess I won't binge that.
It's told from the point of view of one of the survivors, and it's just her going back and reliving the memories and how she kind of pulled herself out of it. And I thought it would be more of a breakdown on kind of the psychology of what went into.
It's more about her and her.
It's
experience.
more about her and her story. Yeah. So that was kind of disappointing. But I mean. Still kind of interesting. And then Dateline puts out a new case or episode.
They had a 6-parter called Killer Roll.
Yeah.
I listened to that one this past week. And then we watched I was literally telling Claire about it, and then we were scrolling through Dateline. I was like, oh shit, that's it right there. Let's just watch it.
Yep. So that's what I've been watching and listening to.
What?
You?
I listened to The Orange Tree, which we both talked about. It was about a killing from on campus of UT from 2005, and it's just a wild fucking case. And they have these two main people. It's so a girl gets murdered on campus, and then it's okay, it was these two students, a male and a female, that did it, and now they fled to Mexico. They get them back. They go on trial, and then you think everything's open and shut, but to me there was some definite questions near the end, where I'm not sure whoever is still in jail should be in jail, and whoever's out should be out. You know, like, so it was just like, I would listen to it because the case is completely fucking crazy. But then it's like the whole second half of the podcast when it's like the trial, to me was like really interesting. These are both on Spotify. The other one is another Bill Simmons shout out, The Rewatchables. I've been just straight binging so many episodes of that like the last 4 days. It's him, and it's usually like him and these two other guys. But it's people that he writes with at The Ringer, so there's always like guest hosts and extra people on there. But they basically just rewatch movies that are rewatchable, and then they just discuss it. And they always try to keep the runtime of the podcast under the runtime of the movie. So today, for instance, I listened to Goodfellas. That was the new one out, and they kept it just under like two and a half hours, or right around 2.5 hours. But they do more than just talk about it. They had these little awards I was going to go through. So they talk about what was the most rewatchable scene. And then they'll have like clips of that, and they'll talk about their favorites, what aged the best and what aged the worst with the movie. They have casting what ifs where they could be like, instead of Al Pacino, maybe they had Gene Hackman, and would it be better with him in this role? Like these are people that actually like were offered the movie, and would it be better if you were to cast this person differently? They have their half-assed research that they'll, just strange facts. They have the Dion Waiters Award. It's the heat check, so it's basically like who came in and only had like 2 scenes but just stole it. It's like Dion Waiters was a bench player for Miami. That's why it's named after him. But he would come in and it's like, he put up, only played 12 minutes, but he got 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. So it's the Dion Waiters Heat Check Award. They talk about who won the movie. That's usually at the end where it's like, so. For example, for Goodfellas today was Martin Scorsese won it because he, this was like, they thought this was his best movie. And then they'll talk about Apex Mountain. It's like, who peaked? Who was at the pinnacle? So, like, they said De Niro, Pesci, and Scorsese. This was all their Apex Mountain. They had the most quotable lines. They had the Joey Pants Award for it's the best that guy. Or it's like, I've seen that guy in something, but you can't think of who it is. That's the Joey Pants Award. They have the Vincent Hanna Give Me All You Got Award, where it's like, you just go full Pacino, you're going so fucking hard in every scene, like overacting. I love that one for the overacting. They have the recasting couch, like instead of Mark Ruffalo, would Edward Norton be better in this role? So it's like casting what ifs again. They have the unanswerable questions. Then they ask, could this movie be made as a 10-part Netflix series? And I had at the end, I forgot again who won the movie, but they just go through all that and they just break down the movie so well. The guys just all mesh so good together. It's just 3 guys like usually hanging out together talking, and you just feel like you're there. It's just like just having like this awesome conversation. So both of those are on Spotify.
Bill Simmons is good at what he does. Usually doesn't miss on a podcast.
Dude, he's just the man. I fucking love Bill Simmons. And like I said, he said this at one point on one of their other episodes because I listened to like Terminator 2, fucking Varsity Blues, Con Air. I listened to all those this week. But on Spotify, they have all the episodes, so it's over 170 episodes. I guess.
Nice.
If you listen on like Apple and stuff, they say they only have like the last 6 months worth. So if you want to, and it's they do so many different movies, dude. Like. Anything that's just a good quality movie, so
it's just across all genres.
Through, find like, oh, I love that movie, and what's really cool is to watch that movie beforehand and then listen to it the next day, so you can really keep up with it. And watching, honestly, I've seen Zootopia at least 5 times in this last week. Claire's been on such a hardcore Zootopia binge. It's a great movie, it really is.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It teaches follow your dreams with Julie Hopps. Never question yourself, go hard. Fight corruption. Like it's a great movie. It has like a good storyline and everything. And lastly, we've been getting really into House Hunters, man. I fucking love that show.
We went through that phase. I watched
that when I'm looking through, because apparently there's like 200 seasons on Hulu, and I'm like, dude, I get so into it. I'm like, all right. I have to go somewhere that's realistic. Like, I'm not looking at penthouses in Chicago. I'm like, country cottage in New Hampshire. Let's go. Like, this is where we're going. And I'm like in their shoes, like I'm dead set on my budget. I'm very strict on my budget. I can't go much over that. I got my wish list. I want, at least 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. A basement would be awesome. We got to have a garage. I want some land. And when we're looking at all the houses, I'm like nitpicking, like, look at this fucking kitchen. Are you kidding me? You got to gut that whole kitchen. That's a $20,000 project. That's over budget.
What gets me though, it's like the budget. It's like, where do they find these people? Like, it's like, hi, I'm Bill and I'm Julie. I train hamsters and I'm a kite maker and our budget's $3.6 million.
Yeah, right.
Like, where the fuck do you find these people?
Apparently not where my street is.
No. That's one thing that bugs me.
I'm so strict on my budget because I have to be realistic. Like, okay, we're working with $350,000. All right, That's a very hard budget for me. I can't go over. I need turnkey ready.
I've got some HGTV.
Oh, we've been binging hard.
I've got some House Hunters.
That's when you know you've like reached your 30s. You're like, what's on HGTV tonight? This is awesome.
No, I've got some suggestions that are bingeable on Hulu, Netflix that will get that'll fill that fix for you.
And then I take it like personally when I'm like, they found their dream house. It's the Tudor. It's number 2.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they doing with that fucking Craftsman? Because they're like, I want open concept so I can entertain. Like, who the fuck do you entertain? You're living there by yourself.
Have you seen the one? I think it's called Fix or Flip.
Love It or List It?
Love It or List It, yeah.
I hate those hosts. That pretentious British bitch. I can't stand her. I'm telling you, man, I've been hardcore into HGTV lately.
Well, I'll give you some suggestions I
love all those like beachfront property,
beachfront
like
bargain
my
hunt.
Dream laundry house. I don't really like that guy either.
He's cool. I like him.
He's got the dumbest fucking tattoos.
He's
got like one tiger on his neck playing basically footsies with another tiger across his neck. It's like, what are you doing, man?
I think when you're attractive, you can just have dumb tattoos.
Apparently. Just a SoundCloud rapper, like either one.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have any face tattoos, so...
He's got 2 tigers across his fucking neck.
Like I said, he's pretty. He can get away with it. All right, anything else?
No, just a lot of house hunters. And I take that shit personally when they don't pick the house that's right for them.
I need to come
Idiots.
over.
You had the dream house under budget.
I need to come over with a 6-pack and let's binge some house hunters.
Count some house hunters anytime. Like me and Claire have been watching. So I've been watching that with Claire. Zootopia with Ellie. I need some sports.
Fair enough. We're in that lull where it's just baseball. You got playoffs.
You got basketball playoffs. We forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, you got
Mavericks
playoffs.
got the Clippers again.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the Clippers.
Not the matchup I wanted, but...
No, I really wanted Denver.
Yeah, me too.
Well, what sucks is they said like Clippers purposely like kind of tanked those last few games, not only to play us, but now they're like out of LA's way, so they wouldn't have to play LA unless they both made it to the Western Finals. So it's kind of like a fuck you to Dallas. So I said, I hope we kick their asses.
Bring it on! Come on, KP, stay healthy for 6 games.
Mm-hmm. You got to get the Terminator out.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
That's all. Oh, Rangers got no hit. We mentioned that to each other. Rangers got hit by the guy that pitched 1 inning for us last year.
We got no hit tonight.
6th of the year, 6th no hitter of the MLB season already. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on pace for like 20.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us, guys. We appreciate you hanging in there with us. We appreciate each and every one of you that listens and gives us feedback. We love you guys. But for Matt,
and I'm Andrew.
We're out.